What's up everybody? Welcome back to my channel, The Urban Ride, where I don't do motorcycle motovlogs at the moment just because I don't have a microphone system for my helmet, but instead where I currently do a Dark Souls playthrough. So last time my volume was all messed up. Turns out that I just needed to turn down the volume in my game. Speaking of which, let's just go ahead and double check that. Yeah, great. That's still at 3s. So the in-game sounds were twice as loud as my voice, and I honestly was having a very difficult time understanding myself and even listening to myself. So that problem has now been fixed. Just a quick rundown as to what we did last time. We got the Great Scythe, and we also got the Winged Spear, but the Great Scythe is going to be my #1 weapon of choice for this playthrough. The reason being is because this character is going to be a dexterity focused character, or at least as much as possible anyway. I haven't exactly decided whether I'm going to be using this weapon through the whole game, or if I'm going to try and find a different weapon to finish out the rest of the game, such as the Baldur side sword, or the Silver Knight side sword, or straight sword, or whatever it's called, or something else. Because I know the Silver Tracer and the Gold Tracer in the DLC are both very, very good dex weapons, and I want to say the Silver Tracer has S scaling, which is the highest scaling in the game, but I don't know, because I can't remember. But that is pretty much what we did last time. So this time, we are going to go that way and explore the Undead Burg. So, let's see here. Yeah, and that's pretty much what we're going to be doing, just as a quick recap. I'm going to try and focus most of my attacks on like parries and stuff like that, at least as much as I can. Just like that. Just because it does incredible damage and it's ridiculous how much damage it does. Oh, so also, last time when I was in the Undead Asylum, I tried explaining exactly what parrying is and how to parry and whatnot, but my sound was all sorts of messed up. Just because I accidentally had my microphone turned off. One second here, let me just clip my microphone clipper to my shirt so I don't... Okay, good. Alright. So, like I was trying to explain last time, parrying is pretty straightforward. With the Xbox controller, it's the left trigger. And that's pretty much what it does, it's just that. The timing for Dark Souls 1 parrying is kinda tricky when you're learning it, but once you have it figured out, it's not bad. So pretty much what you want to look for is you want to look for their attack hand coming towards you, not the weapon, the hand. The reason why is because sometimes the weapon is delayed or the weapon is ahead, but the hand is always going to be your indicator of when the weapon will strike you. So that is when you want to be looking for the perfect parry. No. So right there, you saw how the hand was going towards me? That is when you want to do the parry. Just a little soul packer right there. Now right up ahead of here is a gate that is actually a shortcut. We won't be able to access until we won't be able to access this until we hit the lower Undead Burg, just because it only opens from the other side. Which I know is kind of weird, since why it does that, just because we have the master key and everything, and why it doesn't work that way, but that's just the RNG of the game. Trying to think here, cause I just remembered. Nah, we won't go that way. We're gonna try and stick with what the game wants us to do. So there's actually another option that we can do at this point in the game if we have the Master Key, which I do because I chose the Thief as my starting class. And that actually is to go down into Blighttown, because we can get... Actually, that would be a really good idea. Nah, I won't do that. So what I was thinking, so down on the way to Blighttown, because there's two entrances to Blighttown. There's one that requires the Master Key to go to, and then there's the way the game wants you to go. If you go, if you go the route with the Master Key, you can access the Red Tearstone Ring pretty early on. And I know that a lot of speedrunners, that's what they will do. Just because the Red Tearstone Ring allows a player to pretty much double, I think is what it is, double their damage output when their health is below a certain level. And I could go do that, I could go grab that right now, but I'm just gonna try and follow through what the game wants me to do. But that's just an FYI for those people who didn't know. Where are you going? Whatever, I'll probably end up killing him later. Hi. Time for you to die. I hear footsteps, but I don't know where they're coming from. Oh, there you are. Where'd you go? I was looking for you. That's your present. Jerk. So, oh yeah, and that down there is Lower Undeadburg. Yeah, what's this say? I can't take this. Well, I'm sorry. I want to rate it. There we go. Positive rating. Whatever. I'm hearing things in the game. Oh yeah, and then these guys, you can actually knock them off if you aim right. And then that's just fewer enemies for you to deal with. Not that these guys are particularly difficult, but just as a tip. And get parried. So, yep, that's pretty... Oh wait, how did this guy die? Yeah, see, that's what can happen if you're not careful. Because if you walk to this point, I believe all four of these guys will actually climb up and just back raid you and just gang up on you. So it's always a good idea to be watching for that. Right up here is a humanity. Oh, goodbye message. I was hoping to read you. Then right here is just another soul packet. So right across there, we can access here in a little bit later, but right now we cannot access that, only because to access that, oops, don't fall off, we have to jump from that roof, or from this roof right here. And I'm trying to remember, because I know we can't access it from down there. No, we can't access it from down there. But we can access it coming up here pretty soon. Hi, dragon. So technically that is actually not a dragon. That is a Drake. And no, it's not like Drake the Rapper. It's just That's just the name of the creature. And another parry. So, in my opinion, that particular attack is one of these guys' more difficult attacks to parry just because they usually attack so fast that you almost pre-anticipate the attack, and it just gets really annoying. Whereas all their other attacks are super quick, and it's just like, oh, okay, this is when you're going to attack. So, it just takes a little bit to figure out what he's doing. That guy's bolts are easy to dodge. Right in here is the wooden shield, which is better as far as defense is concerned than this shield that I currently have. But the nice thing about the target shield is it actually, just like it said right there, it makes parrying a lot easier. If I'm not mistaken, it increases the iframes by like 1 or 2 frames per second before and after the enemy's attack. So normally if you were using something like, say, the wooden shield, if you tried to get a parry, you would only get a partial parry, whereas with this one you would be more likely to get a parry. So just keep that in mind as you're going through. But I mean, if you look at it, 93 physical damage versus 78 physical damage reduction. So take it for what it's worth. I'm going to stick with the target shield just because I'm going to be parrying a lot. But at the same time, though, I do like to turtle. Now, you know, I'm going to go for the wooden shield. Only because I like turtling. Let's come up here. Take this guy out. Now, one thing as well to keep in note, now that I'm thinking about it, is player versus player in Dark Souls 1 is only possible if you are human. And humanity is... Don't drink that, Sunny D. And humanity, as the one guy earlier was talking about, who was all depressed about everything, humanity is acquired either by enemy drops, buying them off of merchants, or sometimes the enemies will actually give you humanity when they die. Like, you'll just absorb it like you do with souls. And you can only be invaded when you're human, in human form. Now this guy right around here is a merchant.
Well now, you seem to have your wits about you, hmm? Then you are a welcome customer. I trade for souls. Everything's for sale.
Except for his precious sword named Yulia, apparently. So, while we are here, we will buy the Orange Guidance Soapstone. No, we will also buy the Residence Key, because that opens up stuff that we want to access. And, let's see, I want to say the Rapier is... Maybe it's Ricard's Rapier that's the best for Dex. Because a Scimitar... I don't know. Hang on a sec, I'll be back in a minute. One eternity later.
Thank you, Kai.
Okay, so... Looking at one of the wikis online, it seems to me that the Great Scythe and Ricard's Rapier are both very good dex weapons. Well, obviously the Great Scythe is, just because it's highly recommended by a lot of people. But Ricard's Rapier, here, let me just read you what the wiki says. While most rapiers deal moderate damage in one hit, the strong attack of this rapier will spread damage over 6 quick thrusts. A successful combo is capable of dealing massive damage and building up poison when buffed with rotten pine resin. Upgrading this weapon through the normal path is highly recommended, as its damage can be amplified via use of resins and spells. So, Ricard's Rapier isn't accessible until we hit Sen's Fortress. And even then, it's not accessible until the later part of Sen's Fortress, after we've gone past all the really annoying walkways and swinging dagger things that will cut off your face if you're not careful. So, then if you look at the rapier, just the regular rapier, it looks like, according to the wiki, the rapier at plus 15 has the highest parry riposte damage out of the light weapons. But yet, its scaling, as far as dex is concerned, is all C's, and then it maxes out at a B scaling.
Oh, I hope you...
Yes, I brought plenty of souls, but I'm not buying anything right now, I don't think. 600 souls for the rapier. Yeah, I think I'm probably going to save up and go for the Ricard's Rapier. And just start upgrading that when I eventually get it. So that means then that the Great Scythe, excuse me, sorry. That means for me the Great Scythe, which is I'm currently using, will be... I'm not going to fall off a cliff, you jerk. Sorry. So anyway, the Great Scythe, which is the weapon that I'm using now, I think I am probably just going to use it and just keep it as is until I get up to the top of Sen's Fortress, and I'm just going to collect Titanite and all that stuff that I need to collect. Then once I get Ricard's Rapier, that's when I'm going to spend a whole bunch of souls and a whole bunch of Titanite and just upgrade the crap out of it. Now, these guys, they're pretty easy to take all at a time, just because their health is so low, but I recommend trying to lure them out one at a time, only because then you can just parry them and not have to worry about really taking much damage from them. Kind of like what I just did there. So, that's what I recommend for these guys. Read message. Praise the sun! Yes, praise the sun indeed. I write praise the sun on everything at work, it seems like, in the sawdust, because where I work, it's a wood shop. So sawdust gets everywhere. Like, it's a little ridiculous how much sawdust gets everywhere. Well, it's not ridiculous, it's a wood shop. What the crap am I talking about? But I write it everywhere, and my coworkers, they make fun of me for it just because I write it so much. So anyway, now that we're up here at the top of this roof like I was talking about earlier, we can actually jump across here into that building. And over here in this building, we have access to, I believe it's the light crossbow right around this corner. Yeah, light crossbow. So if you wanted to do a crossbow run, that's a pretty quick and easy way to access the light crossbow right off the bat. And then from here, it just drops back down into here, and nothing special. And that, I believe, are the two small loops around this area. So, pretty straightforward, pretty easy to get a hold of everything. And the bonfire is just right up here and to the left. And voila, le bonfire is lit. And of course, to save your spot, you rest at the bonfire. But unfortunately, resting at the bonfire also respawns all of the enemies. So, take it for what it's worth. Ouch. Yeah, see, that one I pre-anticipated. And just made a mess of it. But anyway, since I'm here at the bonfire, I am gonna go ahead and level up a whole bunch of my souls. But first, I'm gonna get all that crap out of there. There we go. I'm just gonna pop all of my soul packets and spend a couple of levels increasing my dexterity. Or maybe, dexterity or health. Because if I increase my damage output, that just means that I can kill enemies faster. But if I increase my health, that means that I'll be able to last longer against enemies. Quite the quandary. I'm going to increase my dexterity. I like my damage output. Plus, I think for Ricard's Rapier anyway, I gotta have 25 dex. So, that's what I did. Ouch. Ouch! Double fail on the parry there, my goodness. No. Bad puppy. Yes, you stay down. Ah, darn it, he saw me. I was hoping he wouldn't come up. Did it again, my goodness. Well, let's go ahead and drink a Nestus Flask. Now, always run across this bridge. Come in here. Get this guy to do his thing. Of course he missed, so we'll just kill him. Just put him out of his misery. Put this guy out of his misery too with 248 damage. And then we'll go ahead and kill this guy. Ah! Ouch! That was rude of you. You shouldn't attack people like that. Alrighty, there's that. Now right in here, there isn't... No wait, there is. There is a treasure chest in here. I was going to say there isn't a whole lot in here, except for 2 hollows. Ick. Yeah, there's another hollow hiding out right here. But he's pretty easy to take care of. Hey, he's just kind of hanging out, enjoying the view of a wall and some stairs and not much else. Now right up in here, however, I believe are black fire bombs. And black fire bombs are very, very helpful, especially against the Asylum Demon that we met right at the very start of the game. But since I'm not fighting the Asylum Demon anymore, what's this say? Beware of projectile. Why, thank you. Such a kind soul. Yeah, black fire bombs are super helpful for a whole variety of things, as are fire bombs in general. But I personally, ouch, I personally don't really use fire bombs that often, only because I prefer being up close and personal. Ouch, stupid moss. There we go. And if I'm not up close and personal, I prefer using archery. Oh, see? There you go. That black smoke that I inhaled from my enemy, that was a humanity that I absorbed. That happens from time to time. And then right in here, we can get gold pine resin. Right around the corner. And right here, we have gold pine resin. As promised. Now, to make taking on these guys easier, I like to try and lure this guy out as much as possible, or at least get him going. And then I run out this way, doop-a-doop-a-doo, running, and say, "What's up, bro?" Now, be careful not to go too far, because in this tower to my left is an archer, and if you go too far, he will start shooting at you. And we're gonna take care of him, right? Meow. See? Archer. Die. Quit shooting me. You meanie butt. Oh yeah, that's the other thing too. The undead hollows with crossbows, if you kill them enough, they will drop their crossbow. So, bear that in mind. Parry this guy, get him out of my way, because he's a bother to me. Do the same to this guy, because he's also a bother to me. And then come up here and do the same to this guy, because he's also a bother to me. Now he will, if once you reach that message right there, or roughly about where that wall crack is, he will kick that barrel down at you, and if you're not careful, you will be damaged severely by it. So, keep that in mind as you're playing through. Now, the last thing that I'm going to do for this episode, ladies and gentlemen, is I am going to come down here, and I am going to kill this Black Knight. The easiest way to do that, so you have the best security of your souls, is to lure him over to this little area right here, and pretty much just parry him to death. That's honestly the best advice I can give you. But I am going to try to go for the backstab on this guy. Ouch! Yeah, that didn't go so hot. Oh crap. Hi, friend. I missed you. Have you come to play? Yes, you have. Very good, very good. Now, if you're careful, you can actually get a crap ton of backstabs on this guy, too. But as you can see, with the proper technique, he's nothing. Now sometimes these guys, well, usually these guys almost always drop a Titanite chunk in my experience. It's either blue, white, or black, I think, are the ones they drop. But they also have a chance to drop their shield, which is a very good shield, and they also have a chance to drop their weapons. Respectively, the halberd wielding ones drop the halberd, the sword wielding ones drop the Black Knight sword. I think it's called the Great Sword. The ones with the Ultra Great Sword drop their Ultra Great Sword, and then there's one, no, I think there's two in the whole game that wield their Battle Axe, and they have a chance to drop that as well. Now up there is just some more fire bombs. I'm going to ignore those because it's honestly a pain to get to those, but that's what those Black Knight guys drop. Now we just run past here so we don't accidentally get firebombed. Run in here, spend some souls to level up. What does this message say? Read message. Try humanity. No, thank you. I don't really want to. Bonfire head. No, really? You're so smart. I don't like that sarcasm. Level up. Level me up. Dexterity, dump some more into that. So pretty much what I'm trying to get to here is I am going to get my dexterity up to 25. Or, yeah, I'm going to get my dexterity up to 25, and then I'm going to get my strength up to 20. Once I have those two stats up to par and up to where I want them to, that's when I'm going to start dumping points into my vitality. My vitality increases my health, and endurance increases my stamina. So once I have dexterity up to 25 and strength up to 20, Vitality and Endurance are both going to go up to 30, and I'm going to be increasing both of those by increments of 5. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is all that I have for you today. Thank you for watching. Thank you for spending your time with me. I hope you enjoyed the video. You all have a wonderful day.